First quarter was very poor, obviously. After that, I thought we did a lot of good things, a lot more good things than bad things, and I thought we made some progress as a team after the first quarter. But the first quarter it's a big problem, giving up 44 points, and it could have been more. So we'll look at it and keep working.
Just to start there, what was your sort of initial read on wasn't there? I imagine, disposition, all those sort of things that stand out is not particularly good, but what just wasn't there to start?
I'm gonna have to look at it to give you a great answer. We missed 12 layups at the rim in this game, and they were ill-timed because those misses oftentimes turned into threes, baskets, or and ones. It was uncanny the way it was happening, but that's not an excuse. It's just a fact, and it just goes to show you how important those swing plays are. And so we've got to win more of our share of them. But look, they were very good to start the game, very sharp. We made a couple of mistakes in transition, boop, boop, 2 threes. And then Williamson came in the game, and Williamson did a lot of damage.
But I guess to talk about both he and Queen both, you talked a little bit about them in pregame. Obviously, both of those guys are a force. When you got to deal with both of them, how much more difficult does it make when you're trying to make a comeback when you're dealing with 2 guys that can bring that kind of force?
They're both very good, and they can play together, and you can separate them. And Zion can play 5, and he can play 4, and so they got some really good weapons over there, and James is doing a great job with them, and they've got depth, and they keep energy in the game. I thought our guys kept energy in the game too. I thought Furphy and Wiseman were terrific in this game. McConnell was terrific. I got to look at what's happening with the starters. It's we can do better there. We can do better there, and a lot of times in this world, small adjustments can make a significant difference, and I've got to see what those might be.
I guess on that, Drew and Ben obviously had really good nights the other night on Thursday. Anything that stood out first glance on just what was up with them tonight in particular?
Some of it was make miss early. Ben had some really good looks, and those he has to take. Those are great shots, and this is 82 games. It's over 10,000 offensive possessions. I mean, all that stuff evens out. We just had some odd plays in the first half. We had one where Jay Huff had a wide open 3 in the right corner, and he decides to drive it, and he goes under the basket and tries to reverse it and doesn't make it, and then he's behind in transition, and then they score. So these tiny, minute things can lead to a lot of havoc, and so we got to study it, keep showing our guys, try to make them aware so that this stuff becomes more instinctual for them.
I think 8 of 42 from 3 tonight. I guess, did you look at that and say, first glance, a lot of those are ones you have to take as well, or did you feel like there was too much settling for 3-pointers, or did you feel like a lot of that?
I think we're going to look at a lot of them and say that these are shots that we like. There may have been a few that would have been good to get a paint touch first. But look, this is a team that's rolling, and they are disruptive. They're physical. In their last 5 wins, they averaged 19 forced turnovers. In their last 5 losses, they averaged 16. I mean, they turn you over. And so if you get good opportunities, you've got to take them. The important thing is to have the correct floor balance. And if there's a miss, not to get hurt badly by it.
Okay. Real quick, Furphy's ankle, how did he come through? He obviously was able to play in the second half and was really effective, but what's your sense on how he came through from kind of...
He seemed to do well in the second half. I made sure the trainers looked at the play to see how severe it looked. He stepped on somebody's foot. It turned over. It didn't appear to be as bad as it certainly could have been. And they looked at him, retaped him, and he was ready to go back in. So, look, he had one of his best games as a Pacer, and his energy running and the way he just plays the right way and with the right spirit is something that is really important.